Hello everyone, welcome to New Wealth Japan. I'm thrilled to have you here today. This channel is dedicated to helping travelers from around the world discover and experience the very best of Japan. From ancient temples and historic castles that have stood for centuries, to the vibrant world of anime, unique Japanese souvenirs, and incredible cuisine that will tantalize your taste buds, we cover it all. Japan is a country where tradition meets innovation, where you can enjoy a traditional tea ceremony in the morning and explore cutting-edge technology districts in the afternoon. It's this beautiful contrast that makes Japan so fascinating. We're passionate about sharing hidden gems, travel tips, and cultural insights that will make your Japanese adventure unforgettable. Whether you're planning your first trip or you're a seasoned Japan traveler, we've got something special for you. I'm truly grateful that so many people from all corners of the world share this passion for Japanese culture with us. Your enthusiasm and curiosity inspire every video we create. So sit back, relax, and let's explore Japan together. Let's get started.
We're about to take a look at a structure of just breathtaking beauty. I mean, it's a masterpiece of Japanese architecture that almost seems to float above the landscape. We're talking about Himeji Castle. It's got this amazing nickname, Shirasagi-jo, that actually means White Heron Castle. And you can totally see why. Its elegant, pure white form, it genuinely looks like a magnificent bird about to take flight. It's this incredible icon of grace and serenity.
But, and this is a big but, that serene white facade, it's completely deceptive, because behind all that beauty lies one of the most sophisticated, most lethal fortresses ever conceived. Its beauty isn't just for show, oh no, it's a deadly, deadly illusion.
So how did this incredible place even come to be? Well, its story isn't just one single event. It's really an evolution, one that ended in this huge display of power and ambition. Okay, so let's rewind. The castle's roots go way, way back to a simple little fort in 1333. It got bigger later on, thanks to the famous warlord Toyotomi Hideyoshi. But the castle that we all see today, the huge, sprawling complex, that was all the vision of one man, Ikeda Terumasu. And starting in 1601, he began this massive, 8-year-long reconstruction project.
So you're probably wondering, how in the world did he pay for all this? Well, Ikeda was the son-in-law of the new shogun, Tokugawa Ieyasu. That made him one of the most powerful lords in the entire country. His wealth was rated at 520,000 times koku. Now, a koku is a measure of rice, and to put that in perspective, that's enough rice to feed over 500,000 people for a whole year. Yeah, that's the kind of immense fortune that was poured into creating the ultimate fortress.
All right, so with what seems like limitless resources, what exactly did Ikeda Terumasu build? This wasn't just a fancy home for a lord. No way. This was a state-of-the-art killing machine, designed with some absolutely incredible psychological and tactical precision. Okay, let's try a little thought experiment. I want you to put yourself in the shoes of an attacking samurai for a second. You see this beautiful castle up on the hill. It actually looks inviting, kind of serene. So how would you even begin your attack? Well, here's the thing. Every single step you could possibly take has already been anticipated, and it's been turned into a trap. Just look at this layout. It is an attacker's absolute nightmare. The path to the main keep isn't straight. It's this confusing, disorienting spiral of gates and blind corners. So as the invaders get lost, they're just constantly exposed to fire from defenders hiding everywhere. Then, the path suddenly gets super narrow, creating these bottlenecks. They're forced into these tight groups, which, you guessed it, makes them perfect targets for the defenders to just pick off. Seriously, any soldier who somehow makes it to the main keep would be totally exhausted and their army would be decimated.
And one of the key tools for that defense is something called the sama. The walls are literally riddled with them. We're talking nearly 1,000. And they even come in different shapes for different weapons. You've got rectangles for muskets, triangles for archers. It means that from every single angle, attackers are being watched and targeted from these hidden murder holes.
So, Himeji was built to be the ultimate weapon, right? Ready to repel any army thrown at it. But this is where the story takes this incredible, ironic turn. Turns out, the greatest battle Himeji ever faced wasn't against samurai at all. It was against time itself.
See, right after Ikeda Teramasa finished his masterpiece in 1609, Japan entered what's called the Edo period, and that was 2.5 centuries of relative peace. And so, this ultimate fortress, it never once saw a battle, not one. Its incredible defenses were never tested, its cannons never fired in anger, it just sat there. And that amazing story of survival just kept going, right into the modern era. In the late 1800s, Japan was modernizing like crazy, and a lot of these old feudal castles were seen as, relics of the past. They were torn down. But Himeji? It was spared. And then it had to survive the greatest conflict of the 20th century. During World War II, the city of Himeji was bombed heavily. And in one of those air raids, a firebomb was dropped, and it scored a direct hit right on the roof of the main keep. Now remember, this entire castle is made of wood. This should have been it. Game over.
But then, something incredible happened. In what the locals still call a miracle, the fuse failed. The bomb was a dud. It just fizzled out. And that saved the castle from certain destruction, even while the city all around it was burning to the ground. It really seems like fate itself was on Himeji's side. So, okay, it survived centuries of peace, the threat of demolition, and even a world war. The next big challenge was just preservation. I mean, how do you keep a 400-year-old wooden structure standing for future generations? It took a monumental effort. Back in the 20th century, the castle went through what's called the Great Showa Restoration, and this was a massive project. They literally took the main keep apart piece by piece and then put it all back together again. Can you imagine? Then, more recently, from 2009 to 2015, we had the Great Heisei Restoration. This one focused on retiling the roof and, most importantly, reapplying that famous, brilliant white plaster to its walls. And what's funny is that when all the scaffolding finally came down in 2015, a really common reaction from people was, it's too white. Everyone had gotten so used to the old, weathered, kind of grayish look. But the thing is, the restorers had done their job perfectly. This dazzling, almost blinding white, that was the castle's true original appearance, exactly how Ikeda Teramasa himself would have seen it. So in recognition of its just incredible history, its architectural genius, and its remarkable state of preservation, Himeji Castle was named one of Japan's very first UNESCO World Heritage Sites, all the way back in 1993. That really cemented its status as a true treasure for all of humanity.
And that really is the legacy of Himeji Castle. You have this structure that was designed for maximum bloodshed, for war, and it became a global symbol of enduring peace and culture. Its greatest victory wasn't won in battle. Its greatest victory was its survival. And it kind of leaves us with a fascinating thought, doesn't it? That sometimes the greatest strength is the one you never have to use. All right, today we are diving into one of Japan's most spectacular landmarks, the incredible Himeji Castle. And let me tell you, this isn't just some old fortress. It's a national treasure, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it has been blowing people's minds for centuries. So let's find out exactly why.
And that name, the White Heron Castle, is just perfect. But its stunning beauty is really just the beginning of the story. This is a 400-year-old masterpiece of art, architecture, and, believe it or not, military strategy, all preserved in unbelievable detail. So come on, join me on this virtual tour as we uncover the secrets of this incredible place.
Himeji Castle is a true survivor. I mean, it became one of Japan's very first UNESCO World Heritage Sites back in 1993, and for good reason. Think about it. This place has made it through feudal wars. It survived bombings in World War II, and it's even withstood massive earthquakes. And somehow, it's still standing, looking almost exactly as it did over 400 years ago. And calling it a castle really is an understatement. We're not talking about a single tower here. This is a massive, sprawling complex of 83 interconnected buildings, all linked together by fortified gates and these winding, maze-like paths. Can you even imagine the strategy involved in defending or trying to attack a place on this scale? Okay, so this is where the pure genius of Himeji Castle really starts to show. All of that breathtaking elegance you see, the graceful lines, those brilliant white walls, it's all a carefully designed illusion. Its beauty is basically a mask, hiding what it truly is, a nearly impenetrable military fortress built for one thing: war. And this duality, this is the absolute key to understanding Himeji.
On one hand, it's a stunning work of art. On the other, it's a lethal machine. Every single beautiful feature serves a deadly purpose, turning the entire complex into this incredible masterpiece of military deception.
Seriously, walking through the grounds is like trying to navigate a giant trap. The paths twist and turn, leading you straight into dead ends, forcing invaders right into kill zones. The gates get super narrow to create bottlenecks. Above you, hidden chutes were ready to drop massive stones. And the walls? They're lined with almost 1,000 tiny loopholes for archers and gunners. Even the beautiful stone bases are designed to be almost impossible to climb.
Okay, let's head into the heart of the castle, the 6-story main keep. Now, the climb to the top is an adventure in itself. And be warned, the stairs are famously steep and narrow. And that was on purpose. They were designed to slow down any attacking samurai trying to charge up in heavy armor.
Every single floor had its own job. The first and second floors were basically armories, just lined with racks for swords and spears. The third floor, now this one is sneaky. It's a hidden level, full of these warrior hiding rooms, perfect for an ambush. Then, the fourth and fifth floors open up into this huge hall, which was the main command post during a siege. And finally, when you make it all the way to the top, the sixth floor has a small, peaceful shrine for the castle's guardian deity. Now, just stop and think about the engineering here for a second. The entire 6,000-ton main keep is held up by just 2 massive wooden pillars. These things are enormous, almost 25 meters tall, and they run all the way from the basement up to the 5th floor. They are the literal backbone of the castle, an absolute testament to the incredible skill of its builders way back in the 17th century. All right, so let's shift gears a bit. We've seen the military heart of the castle, but now let's head over to its residential quarters, the West Bailey, or Nishinomaru. This area was less about defense and more about the day-to-day lives of the people who lived here, and it's where some of the castle's most famous legends were born. Well, this was the home of Princess Sen, who was actually the granddaughter of the very first Tokugawa shogun. She lived here for about 10 years with her husband, and as the Princess of Himeji, her influence really transformed this part of the fortress into a much more elegant, refined place to live. Get this, her dowry was a staggering amount of wealth. This immense fortune is what paid for these incredible chambers. You can still walk through the 100-ken corridor today. It's a nearly 300-meter-long hall where her ladies-in-waiting lived, and it connects directly to her own private cosmetic tower. But the West Bailey also has a much, much darker story. It's a legend that has been told in Japan for centuries, and it's tied to a very specific spot you can still visit today. I'm talking about the chilling tale of Okiku and her well. So the legend goes, there was a servant girl named Okiku who was falsely accused of losing one of 10 priceless plates. For this crime, she was killed, and her body was thrown down a well. And they say that on quiet nights, you can still hear her ghost rising from that very well, mournfully counting 1, 2, 3, all the way to 9, before she lets out a blood-curdling shriek. All right, let's switch from spooky ghost stories to some real-world practical advice. If you're actually planning a trip to see Himeji Castle for yourself, here are a few insider tips to make your visit as awesome as possible. So first, let's talk logistics. An adult ticket for the castle is 1,000 yen. But here's the pro tip. For just 50 yen more, you can get a combo ticket that also gets you into the beautiful Kokoen Garden right next door. It's an absolutely fantastic deal. Just remember, they're open from 9 to 5, but you have to get in by 4 p.m. Trust me, a little planning here goes a long, long way. Himeji can get incredibly busy, especially during cherry blossom season. If you can, try to go on a weekday. The sweet spots are either right when they open at 9 a.m. or later in the afternoon, after 2 p.m. And the best tip of all, buy your tickets online ahead of time so you can just waltz right past the ticket line. But hey, the adventure doesn't have to stop when you walk out of the castle gate. The area right around the castle has its own treasures, and there are a couple of spots you really shouldn't miss. First off, use that combo ticket and go see Kokoen Garden. It's right outside the castle moat, built where the old samurai residences used to be. It's not just one garden, it's a collection of 9 different, beautifully crafted gardens. After exploring that massive, imposing fortress, it is the perfect, peaceful escape. And if you've got a little more time and you want something, I don't know, a little more epic, how about visiting a temple complex that was a major filming location for a huge Hollywood blockbuster? That's right, just a short bus and ropeway ride away is Engyoji Temple on Mount Shosha. This place is so atmospheric, it's over 1,000 years old, and its stunning wooden halls were featured all over the movie The Last Samurai, starring Tom Cruise. It's an incredible spot. So, in the end, Himeji Castle is so much more than just an old fortress. It's a survivor. It's a work of art, a deadly weapon, and a home full of legends. It really makes you wonder, is this just a relic of the past? Or is it a timeless masterpiece, whose story, that incredible mix of beauty and brutality, still has something to teach us today? I think that's a question you can only really answer by walking its halls for yourself.
All right, let's get into it. Today we are cracking the code on one of Japan's most incredible landmarks, the one and only Himeji Castle. And I'm going to give you the ultimate playbook to visit it like a pro. I mean, just look at that thing. It's known as Hakurojo, the White Heron Castle, and you can totally see why, right? It's this brilliant white and looks like a bird about to take flight. This place is a 400-year-old masterpiece that has survived wars, earthquakes, you name it. It's an absolute icon.
But here's the catch. When something is that beautiful, everyone wants to see it. So for a lot of people, the reality of visiting isn't this majestic view. Oh no, it's the back of someone else's head in a line that feels like it goes on forever.
So, how do you get to experience all the wonder without the miserable wait? How do you tackle this fortress like a true strategist? Well, that's what we're here for. We've got the intel, and this is the definitive playbook. Okay, first up, Section 1, the Majestic Challenge. Before you can beat the crowds, you've got to understand what you're really up against at this legendary spot.
4 hours. Yep, you heard that right. During the busiest times, like Japan's Golden Week holiday, you could be waiting in line for up to 4 hours just to get from the entrance to the top. But don't you worry, that is not going to be your story.
And here's how we're going to do it. Section 2, your strategic master plan. This is the absolute core of our strategy. It really is all about one thing: timing. Knowing when to show up is your secret weapon.
So you've got two main plays here. First is the early bird. During peak season, the gates open at 8:30 a.m. Get there right then. You'll be inside exploring before the huge tour bus crowds even start to pull in. Your second option, my personal favorite, is the latecomer's gambit. This is the really clever move. By about 3:30 in the afternoon, the lines have pretty much vanished. If you aim for 4:30 p.m., you can often walk right in and enjoy a much calmer castle just before they stop letting people in. And this table right here, this is why that late strategy works so perfectly. The number you need to know is last admission. In the summer, it's 5 p.m. The rest of the year, it's 4 p.m. Memorize this. It's absolutely crucial for timing your grand entrance. Okay, on to Section 3, gearing up for the climb. So, you've got your timing down pat, but are you ready for the physical part? You have to remember, this isn't some modern museum. It's a military fortress from the 1600s. So let's talk gear.
Let that sink in for a second. 55 degrees. These aren't just any old stairs. They were built as a defense mechanism. They're steep and narrow on purpose to slow down attacking samurai in full armor. You're literally climbing a piece of military hardware. So, you gotta dress for the mission. Sneakers are, believe me, non-negotiable. Wear comfortable pants or shorts so you can handle those high steps. A small backpack is a great idea to keep your hands free for the handrails. And I'm telling you, leave the high heels, fancy clothes, and big bags in a coin locker at the station. Trust me on this one, you will thank me later.
All right, here's your final gear check. Now this is important. You have to take your shoes off to go inside the main keep. They'll give you a plastic bag to carry them in, which means you'll be walking around in your socks. So, maybe don't pick the pair with the holes in them. Pro tip, bring your own small tote for your shoes. It's just a little better for the environment. And definitely bring water, but just remember to drink it outside of the historic buildings.
Now for Section 4, inside the White Fortress. You did it. You're in, you've outsmarted the crowds, you're dressed for the part. Now it's time to explore the heart of the castle, the main keep. This is where it all gets real.
The climb up all 7 floors is an adventure in itself. As you go, keep your eyes peeled. You'll see actual weapon racks where samurai kept their spears, and you'll spot these things called stone drops. They're basically holes in the floor for dropping rocks and, well, worse, on enemies below. And then you make it to the top. The reward? An absolutely spectacular panoramic view of the whole city, worth every single step. But what about the parts of the castle that are long gone?
Well, there's a super cool high-tech answer for that. Before you even get there, download the free Himeji Castle Great Discovery app. It is a total game changer, for real. So here's how it works. All around the grounds, you'll find these little signs, these AR markers. You just point your phone camera at one, and bam! The app shows you a 3D reconstruction of the building that used to stand right there, hundreds of years ago. It's like having a time machine right in your pocket.
So let's talk about Section 5, Beyond the Castle Walls. Reaching the top is incredible, for sure, but your adventure is not over. The grounds around the castle are huge and packed with even more stories to find.
Make sure you explore the West Bailey, the Nishinomaru. It's this really long corridor that was part of the living quarters for Princess Sen. Then, if you're feeling brave, go find the Okiku Well. It's the real spot behind that famous ghost story that ended up inspiring the movie The Ring. And hey, your visit doesn't have to end just because the sun goes down. Every single night, from sunset until midnight, the entire castle is lit up, and it is just magical. It gives it a completely different vibe. It's totally worth sticking around after dark, or even making a special trip back just to see it like this.
Okay, I've got one last secret for you, the ultimate pro tip. You want that perfect postcard-worthy photo of the castle, right? Well, here's the thing. You don't take it from inside the castle grounds. For this exact view, you're going to head to the building across the street called I-Rei Himeji. It has a rooftop observatory that's totally free to enter, and it gives you this perfect, elevated, panoramic view of the entire castle. This is the shot that will make everyone on your social media jealous.
So there you have it, the complete playbook. The timing, the gear, the insider tips. You're not just ready to visit Himeji Castle anymore. You're ready to experience it the right way, without the stress and as a smart traveler.
You're all set to step back in time. You know how to get past its defenses. So the only real question left is, when you walk through those ancient gates, what forgotten secrets of samurai, princesses, and maybe even ghosts are you going to uncover for yourself?
You enjoyed exploring this part of Japan with us. If you found this video helpful or entertaining, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps us reach more travelers like you who love Japan. And here's the most important part. If you haven't already, please subscribe to New Wealth Japan and hit that notification bell. By turning on notifications, you'll be the first to know whenever we upload a new video. We post new content regularly, featuring different destinations, food experiences, and cultural insights across Japan, so you won't want to miss out. Now, we'd love to hear from you. Do you have any questions about what we covered today? Is there a specific place in Japan you'd like us to feature in an upcoming video? Maybe a particular Japanese dish you're curious about, or a cultural tradition you want to learn more about? Please share your thoughts, questions, and suggestions in the comments below. We read every single comment, and your feedback helps shape our future content. Also, if you've been to Japan before, we'd love to hear about your experiences. Share your favorite memories or travel tips with our community. Let's learn from each other. Thank you so much for watching and for being part of our New Wealth Japan family. Your support means the world to us. Until next time, safe travels, and see you in the next video. Sayonara.